Newport News in Review starts right now.
Hello, I'm Aaron Pritchett, and welcome to this edition of Newport News in Review for the month of May 2010. Boundless blue skies, beaming sunshine, and beautiful butterflies. Just some of the simple things in life that make this final stretch of spring bright, beautiful, and yes, still full of promise. Especially when you consider all the hard work that Mother Nature puts in to provide such beautiful weather and plenty of sights to see. And speaking of hard work, there's a very special place in this city where hard work and determination are the name of the game, as men and women take the challenge of 22 weeks of some of the most intense training around that ultimately lays the foundation for the career of their dreams. And although you may have no clue what it takes to become one of Newport News' finest, we're definitely going to open your eyes as we bring the show to you from the very impressive Newport News Police Department Training Academy located at Briarfield Road and Jefferson Avenue. To some, it's a calling that only a few answer, but when they do, they begin a journey into a career that prides itself in upholding the law, and above all else, serving and protecting the citizens of Newport News. But before they get here, they have to start here, as the Newport News Police Department Training Academy has been providing an invaluable experience for one and all who accept the challenge of immersing themselves into the intricate and complex world of law enforcement. But even more importantly, law enforcement policy, procedure, and hands-on training that is specifically focused in on what is required of the Newport News Police Department. But that hasn't always been the case, because for more than 30 years, Newport News was a part of the Hampton Roads Criminal Justice Training Academy, a facility that is currently located in the Oyster Point section of the city, where local law enforcement agencies including Williamsburg, York, Poquoson, and James City County come together to get a broad overview of law enforcement. And although the training offered is not necessarily focused in on what specifically is required of each locality, it is still very valuable to the men and women of other police and sheriff's departments that utilize it today. But due to the increasing numbers of recruits enrolled with the Newport News Police Department through the years, Chief James Fox felt the need to begin an all-inclusive, specifically tailored training academy that would properly lay the foundation and hone the skills of the future officers of tomorrow. So after a lot of research, changing a required state law for implementation of a new academy, and passing a city ordinance, the Newport News Police Department Training Academy opened their doors in July of 2009, ultimately helping to save the city money, utilizing the vast knowledge of current officers on the force as instructors, and providing a unique, one-of-a-kind experience for recruits as they tackle 22 weeks of in-depth classroom instruction and invaluable hands-on training throughout the city. And in doing so, helping to guide recruit after recruit, class after class, on their way towards the goal of graduation, and eventually on the streets of this fine city, dedicated to this community and committed to serving and protecting the citizens of Newport News. We are proud to feature the very impressive Newport News Police Department Training Academy, as we help to emphasize what an asset this facility is to this community, as it helps to lay the foundation for the future police officers of tomorrow. Well, May has been another busy month, so let's take a look at what's been going on right here in the city of Newport News. This is where the rubber meets the road, and if you're ready to put your driving skills to the test, well, this is the class for you, as we take a ride with some very hopeful teens as they get one step closer to getting their hands on the highly coveted driver's license. But first, they must survive one of the best behind-the-wheel driver's education programs in the state of Virginia. Well, it's been a long time coming, as one local intersection gets wired up, geared up, and ready to go, as some new technology will have you seeing red in a whole new way. And it's a fine time to discover a new frontier, as a brand new airline flies into town, offering passengers from near and far the perfect opportunity to set their sights out west by utilizing one of the fastest growing, most successful commercial airports in the nation. The sky's the limit, especially when you have every intention of flying in it, so that you can get here, there, and everywhere. And just in case you were looking for some new frontiers to discover, well, things just got a whole lot easier at one of the fastest growing, most successful commercial airports in the nation. And best of all, it's right here in our very own backyard, as the Newport News Williamsburg International Airport recently did what most airports wouldn't even think about doing during these tough economic times. a multi-million-dollar expansion, and an opportunity to welcome in a brand new airline to its already impressive lineup, as Frontier Airlines becomes the first new airline to reach this area in nearly 8 years, offering 4 nonstop flights per week to Denver, Colorado, ultimately giving this city and this airport plenty to be proud of, and you better believe the passengers that are looking forward to setting their sights on going out west.
Fantastic. We used to have to drive up to DC to go to Baltimore and all that. It's 35 minutes from home. Wow, you know. And they've been offering some great deals. And I gotta tell them, our son's the pilot that's flying in today.
Very nice. So he's going to be able to fly you out, huh? After the inaugural flight.
Yeah.
What's it feel like to have your son do this?
Well, he's worked for TWA, and we've flown with him before. And he always tells people when they get on board, he said, if you think it's not safe to fly with us, it's safe enough because I'm flying with mom and dad.
This is a wonderful day for the entire peninsula. We're inaugurating 2 things today: the grand opening of our newest concourse, Concourse A, and the first airline in Hampton Roads since 2002, Frontier Airlines, providing nonstop service to Denver with connections to every major city in the West. It speaks very highly of the economic conditions on the peninsula with military and government and business and industry and tourism. We have every reason for somebody to be coming here or leaving here. So it was appropriate to bring in Frontier Airlines to provide nonstop service to the West.
2, 3.
It's very exciting for this region because this gives us a foothold in the West. It gives you the ability to get through on a trans-American flight to California, to Los Angeles, to San Francisco. We have a lot of corporate headquarters out there. We have a lot of military that need to go to the West, and it just adds another artery of commerce between Hampton Roads and the peninsula and the West.
It is just a thrill. Thank you, first of all, the City of Newport News, for getting Frontier Airlines, my airline, to home. My mom and dad just live right in Virginia Beach. So it just was goosebumps, and just knowing that my parents were standing, waiting on me to fly home with me. It was just an experience you'll never forget. I still have goosebumps on the back of my hair right now just talking about it. And what a great city, what a great, beautiful airport. All of the comments from the flight crew are, wow, we're just getting treated like we're kings here. This is going to be a great station for Denver, a great station for Frontier Airlines, and great access to Denver and to the West. Come give the Rocky Mountains a try. They're beautiful this time of year. They're still snow-capped. It is just an amazing experience to be able to do this when my parents here.
It's a split-second decision. Green light, you're good to go. Yellow light, you slow down and prepare to stop. And when the light turns red, what do? Stop or go on through? Well, for those of you who make it a habit of running red lights here in the City of Newport News, you might want to reconsider, because some long-awaited technology recently went up that may just in fact capture you.
It's been at least 2 to 3 year process now, and it's finally coming to what the city council has been wanting to have happen. What's happened is, of our 3 packages, this package has been approved by VDOT, and because of that, we've gone on with Red Flex and Highway Electric to get the installation done. That's laying the cables, the loops in the pavement, the camera systems, all the computers that goes in the box, things like that's going to be happening now in these next couple weeks. The other 2 intersections, once those are submitted again to VDOT, then hopefully they'll be approved, and we'll get those back and we'll progress onward, heading to the north. Oyster Point and Jefferson will be the next one. The intersections are based off 3 things: statistical data as far as the number of crashes, also the number of citations that officers have written here. Public opinion has a little bit to do with it, and also the ease of enforcement. These intersections are hard to enforce safely for police officers, and because of that, you'll get more of a force enhancement with the camera system. You know, our job as police is already serve and protect. Well, on the protection side, by saving money, one is you're not tying up police assets, fire department assets, dealing with crashes. We're hoping to see a reduction in crash counts. Also, if people start stopping, you're modifying their behavior, so maybe it won't just happen here, but it might happen to other intersections that's not being monitored. And by not having to tie up officers to actually sit here and do the enforcement, that leaves them available to do service calls, things like that. One of the things when I give a presentation to the citizens that's always a concern is about points on their license and also insurance. This is a $50 fee or penalty. It doesn't go to DMV, it does not go to insurance companies. In fact, by law, they cannot do it. They cannot raise your rates based off of this. It's probably the best deal in town for red light violation compared to if I stop you and give you a ticket for running lights.
Memory is a way of holding on to the things you love, the things you are, and the things you never want to lose. And when it comes to remembering the men and women who have worn the blue and have paid the ultimate sacrifice throughout the country, the month of May is extremely important, as the Newport News Police Department recently did their part for National Police Memorial Week, with a very moving ceremony that began with a unified march along the streets of downtown Newport News.
What a beautiful day the Lord has given us. What a great day. To remember those that have given it all to their communities. Our 11 officers and other thousands across the nation that have given their lives. Most of you really don't realize what today is to a police officer. You don't realize it until you feel it. And as a commanding officer or as a chief, you have to go to a wife, to small children, and try to make them understand that their loved one has given it all to protect their community.
I don't know how to adequately express this community's appreciation to Chief Fox, the men and women of this department, his management team, for all that they do every day to continue to improve, to continue to reach out, to continue to make a difference. But I can tell you, they make a difference. They make a difference in how we live and how we relax, because we all know that they're there and that they're doing an outstanding job.
Robert Hayes DeCourt started with Newport News in 1918 and was shot by a fugitive he was attempting to arrest on September 23rd, 1921.
Much has been said about the 11 members of our department who gave their lives. We've been blessed. We have not lost an officer since 1994, but that doesn't mean that today will be any safer than yesterday, that tomorrow will have less risk for these men and women as they leave their homes and serve our community. So we pray that they will be safe, that they will be strong, that their families will continue to give them the love and the support that they need to be successful, and that we as a community give them that same support.
It's the sharp uniform to convey respect, a powerful gun to protect, and a badge that reflects a commitment to service. But beyond the uniform, it's the men and women who choose this profession, and more importantly, the countless number of hours of intense training they put in to attain the career of their dreams. And although you may not know what it takes to become one of Newport News' finest, we're about to open your eyes to what goes on behind the scenes right here at the Newport News Police Department Training Academy.
You can't just come out here and give them a badge and a gun and put them in a car and expect them to go out and enforce laws. They have to have a good understanding of it. Chief Fox expects excellence out of all of his officers, and this is where it starts. We start the very first day. They are told what the standards are and they have to live up to them. We're not quite paramilitary, but it's not a collegiate setting either. We do have standards. They show up in the morning at 6:45. They have to get in formation. They're inspected.
Where's your pens?
And then they go into the classroom. Everything starts in the classroom. You go from policy and procedure all the way up to law, and in between you have weapons of mass destruction, cultural diversity, traffic stops. Before they can go out and do any practical training, they still get classroom training. Even our defensive tactics, we have a week of defensive tactics that starts out with 8 hours in the classroom. You start with the legal basis of what they base their actions on, and the ramifications of doing it wrong. You go out here and put handcuffs on someone when you're not supposed to, you can find yourself in a lot of trouble civilly and criminally. So we have to make sure they understand that. So it all starts in the classroom. It doesn't matter what they're doing.
What we're doing today is we're covering personal protective equipment. That involves their chemical suits, the boots, the gloves, the gas masks, or the ensemble that we call PPE, and that's for any situation that arises that may affect our breathing or our skin conditions that we have to enter. And I know this suit is a little raggedy. Yeah, that's fine. Because like I said, the bottom is tore up a little bit. It's a training suit, so we're going to simulate the rest. To be an instructor for the Recruit Academy, I think personally is a privilege. It's an honor. It's something that gives me the opportunity to show my experience and my expertise to pass it on to them. It can be stressful at times in the academy. You know, you're studying for tests, and you know, you have physical training going on, and you know, you're doing a lot of different things that you're dividing your focus on. And you know, when you go to a regional academy, a lot of things are very generalized because they're teaching to a broader audience because they have to. We're fortunate to have the opportunity now that we can be very specific. We can say, this is how we do it at Newport News. You know, we can use real-world examples from our city, from things that have happened in the past. You know, we can use a situation that our recruits will be aware of, will be familiar with, versus just, you know, using a generalized incident from another city or another area.
At times it feels like information overload, but you just take it day by day, and you know, you keep what's really important, and then when you actually get out there, you utilize it, and then you learn as you go.
Grab a handful of shirt, duck that head under, turn over, keep the pressure on until he taps out.
This is a ground fighting class for our basic academy. And essentially what they're doing is we're giving them an opportunity to engage in a rather intense confrontation with a partner. It's a dynamic exercise. It incorporates a limited variety of techniques that we're hoping that they'll retain in the short amount of time that we have to do this, so that in the event that they should end up on the ground, they have some skills to deal with that. Well, this is typically a class that sticks pretty close to them for the rest of the academy and beyond. We have 1 week's worth of defensive tactics training, but it's nothing like this. It's very controlled. It involves handcuffing and takedowns and things like that. This right here is basically fighting for your life.
I mean, because it seems like the streets are pretty tough out there, and what they're throwing at us, it's real. So I hope that I get the basic groundwork of what I need when I get put out there on the streets.
They're putting forth a whole lot of effort. They're putting their heart and soul into it, and it's not just because it's fun, because it's something that they like to do, but because they want to make sure that they can do their job right.
Fire! Fire! Fire!
We're currently at the Newport News Police Department firing range, which is located on Fort Eustis Army Base. Yeah, we utilize it all year long. Rain, shine, snow, heat, we're out here. You know, we try to replicate whatever the call is going to be on the street. You got to be able to deal with it here. Real life is not where you want their first experience to be. The training ground should be where they experience everything we can throw at them. We want them to get stressed out and make their mistakes here because they can't afford to make them out there. The chief has certain expectations as for the city of Newport News. They want their officers to be the most professional and proficient at their skill set for their city. And we can guarantee that this way. You know, by taking them from a young pup and putting them up there to where they're the best they can be as they come out on the streets.
I mean, this is the foundation. It will help us survive. And I hope one day I don't have to use it, but I know in the back of my head that's the foundation to use it.
Dispatch 1599, traffic stop.
Well, what we're doing today is evaluating the recruits and their response to a suspicious vehicle.
Go ahead, put your hands on the roof.
It's very important. One of the most dangerous things a recruit has to deal with, or a police officer does in the street, is dealing with a traffic stop. And in a situation where they know the vehicle is stolen, they do not know what to expect, so they have to be on their guard at all times.
Step away from the vehicle. You could be in a situation and be tactfully sound, but then once you get into the legal aspect, it kind of makes you pause for a second, and that second could kill you. You know, like I said, I come from the Air Force, and did law enforcement in the Air Force, but it's completely different out here. In the military, it's all about discipline and rank structure, but out here, it's all about how you present yourself, how you take the tactics and techniques you've learned and put them out in the street and deal with the people.
Right now, this is my second career,
And this is one of the passions I always had was to be in the military and to serve on a police force. And so for me, this is a dream come true, that now I'm able to become a police officer and serve a community that I enjoy living in.
It's a crucial rite of passage for teens all across the country, and with it comes the excitement, the anticipation, and the pure joy of finally being able to get your license. I'm sure you all remember those days, or even have kids now that are about to reach that very important milestone. But before they get to reap the benefits of taking to the road, they must go through one of the most intense, most comprehensive behind-the-wheel driver's education program in the state of Virginia. And believe it or not, it's right here in the city of Newport News, as we take you to where the rubber meets the road, right behind Todd Stadium.
I see people with their seatbelt on already. They should not have their seatbelt on because we got things to do. All right, after the seat, we're going to adjust the mirrors, the inside mirror, please. After adjusting your mirror, we're going to put the seatbelts on, turn your ignition on, put the car in drive. All right, now we're going to go nice and slow, looking at your target. Remember, you're going to steer when you get that bumper to the first cone, concentrating on your hands. What we do is we start out on Monday with the very basics and the very simple, easy stuff. And then as we go through the week, the things that we do are going to get harder and a little more complicated as we go through the week. When Thursday comes, if you're not driving up to our standards, we're going to let you know that you have to come back and do the range again. Okay, we're going to keep you until you're ready for the road.
This is Newport News Public Schools, driver education in car. Space. All right.
Drive in, we keep accelerating. We try to stay in the path. And when she does this, ease off the accelerator and straighten it out.
It's a life-death skill, as we all know. We take this student from the beginning to what we call advanced driving skills, or crash avoidance skills, really. And I think everywhere in between there is a constant learning of skills. And I will say this, the state requires 7 periods of driving and 7 periods of observing. And a period to the state is 50 minutes, but to us, we give our kids 16 hours of driving, 8 of them on the range and 8 of them on the road. So we go far above and beyond what the state requirement calls for. Everything deals with time and space, and if you don't have the space, you won't have the time. The evasives are built for 25 miles per hour, and you can see what you can do at 25 miles per hour. You can easily go through if you find that open space.
You get nervous at first, and then you'll get used to it. As long as you know what you're doing, make sure you pay attention.
It's hands-on training. The book tells you a lot, and you get to hear a lot of things in the book, but there's no replacement for that hands-on, that physical touching where you actually experience it. I've been part of this program for quite a while. It's one of the best programs around. We get to do things that the private companies can't do because of the facilities, and the way it's designed, students get all of the driving practice and experience they need in order to be better drivers on the highway.
We have been around so long that we have really mastered. We do more in this class than anyone else in the Commonwealth of Virginia, I can assure you, and probably the nation as a whole, because we do expose our kids not just to the required curriculum, but we take that 1-step, 2-step program down the road. It is one of a kind, and I will say that because I've been to a lot of places and seen a lot of things. But this is the cream of the crop, and not just because we're in charge of it, but we have instructors who've retired and come back and teach because they're so in love with what we're doing and seeing the children grow, the young adults grow, and become average drivers when we let them go. And hopefully they will live to be great drivers like the majority of our kids have done.
They're in a world all their own, and they've actually been standing tall for centuries, helping to bring to life some of the most critical points in world history, not to mention providing one of the most enjoyable hobbies around. As the very popular Armed Forces Day Toy Soldier Show returned to the always enjoyable Virginia War Museum in Huntington Park.
This is our 8th annual Toy Soldier Show here at the Virginia War Museum. We have dealers, company representatives that are displaying toy soldiers of international varieties as far away as Argentina, Europe, even Russia and the Far East. Various varieties, everything from flat toy soldiers, vintage Britons, hollow cast, moldings and castings that can be painted yourself. For those who like to do that. Certainly the gloss shiny finish of the older toy soldiers, matte finish of the newer, certainly prints and books that are helpful for those with uniform colors, those who want to paint their own. And it's a lot of fun for families to come out, mature adults who maybe remember from their childhood when some of the older ones, vintage toy soldiers, were new, and certainly the plastic ones that folks like myself might remember not too long ago, and then bringing up certainly the younger kids to come in and families to see what the newest toy soldiers are and what their offerings are, both to be played with and to put on a bookshelf and look at and enjoy. I think what really makes this show unique is the fact that we're in a military museum setting. A lot of the other shows tend to be in convention halls and other locations, community centers, that sort of thing. And where here you can see a lot of the actual artifacts surrounding the toy soldiers that are being displayed. So you can see reality versus what's in miniature. And it keeps growing, and we have steadfast supporters that have come back each year. And of course, in the economic times that we're in, all of our events, very important for folks who like that to come out and support the museum. This is another way of doing that by coming out and supporting these events, helping also with education, because so many folks come out, and hopefully this will spark an interest. The younger folks see these toy soldiers, ask a lot of questions. A lot of the folks here very friendly. I've come to know many of the dealers and the people with the displays personally, and it's just a great warm setting and both a learning experience and a lot of fun at the same time.
There's nothing like a day to play, with plenty to see, plenty to do, and plenty of smiles and laughter to be had, especially for an event that thousands of kids and their parents from far and wide look forward to every year. As the Department of Parks, Recreation, and Tourism kicked off their 2010 season with the return of the 21st Annual Children's Festival of Friends in beautiful Newport News Park.
Yes, a very popular event, as you can see. We get over 10,000 people out here at Newport News Park, and the great thing is they pay a $5 parking fee, and then you come here and everything is free. Kids can do the rides and the crafts, and we have great entertainment, and they're not constantly asking mom, dad, or grandma for more money because it's all included. And everybody has a great time. People spend hours here with their kids.
Well, we're over here right now at the arts and crafts section from Rome, Italy, and my daughter having a ball just painting away. It's hot out here, but it's good.
I'm making a sandcastle. And it's very hot, definitely feels like summer, even though it's the first part of May. But we're happy to be here, and we're so happy that so many people could join us today.
Can I help the next person? All right, you want a large lemonade? All right.
Yeah, we always look for nice days like today. It's a whole lot better than windy and cold days, which we have to put up with sometimes, but that's pretty much the nature of the business. Well, we've been in business for about 15 years now. This is one of our favorite festivals. We just enjoy working this one. We're able to make a little bit of money and make people happy, and just a good show.
It's real tiring, but it's fun because we spend a lot of time educating children about farm animals.
And we know it's over 20 years that we've been bringing the animals to this event and to the Fall Festival.
Well, that's one of the reasons that we do this, is because I think this is the best children's festival we've ever been to. It's a fabulous event. In fact, we think that Newport News Parks and Rec are top notch.
Where can you go for the day and spend $5 and have this much fun with your kid? I mean, it's great.
If you can dream it, I can make it. And if I can't, I'll try. I'm an entertainer, a balloon artist. You know what, I have fun. It's nice to see everybody come out and get involved, and we just have a blast. It's so much fun. What would you like? What can I make for you?
And it's important for us to continue to offer very affordable entertainment that brings families together and showcases our city.
Well, that's about all the time we have for you this month. We hope you've enjoyed this edition of Newport News in Review, as we've helped to open your eyes to what goes on behind the scenes of the Newport News Police Department Training Academy. And as always, on behalf of everyone here at Newport News TV, whether you're watching us on TV or online at nngov.com, Facebook, or YouTube, thanks for watching. And we'll see you here real soon for the June edition of Newport News in Review, right here on Newport News Television.